Hello, welcome to Lemon Steers, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for the December 6th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Sorry, I'm to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, I really don't know what happened with WWE. I mean, once we were on the road to Crown Jewel, even Survivor Series to an extent, because it really seemed like, hey, what we did for the OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline, we're all going to put our hands in that one basket. And then after that, we're just going to go balls to the wall because both Raw and SmackDown have just been lighting on fire. The 2 hours have flown by like nobody's business. It really seems like they both figured out the 2-hour format, which means now, okay, I prefer the 3 hours overall for the talent and just to let things breathe more. Because some of the matches here were really quick, and I think, we could have showcased a little bit more and to get everyone more over if we do have that 3 hours, like the Bianca versus Piper Niven match. The women's triple threat match was good for the most part, but I don't think we gave the same treatment to Elektra Lopez as we did to B-Fab. And I think that's a shame because I think Elektra Lopez is an amazing talent. If you've seen her stuff on NXT, she is really good. She's just not been given those minutes to do that, and I think an extra hour will do that. But they have really figured out that 2 hours. And again, the show just flew by. I mean, we went, 45 minutes until our first commercial break. Didn't feel it whatsoever. And now we go back to 3 hours next year. Just like, man, hopefully we keep that momentum going, man, because it was an absolutely stellar show. The only thing that I'm kind of questionable about, and I get it for the most part, right, is this transfer portal that we're doing. One, it's been open. We've had people jump from brands to brands well before Crown Jewel. It would have been one thing of, hey, after Survivor Series, and, I was all for it when we get to 2025, and that there really wasn't a brand split anymore. People would just be popping up whenever and doing whatever, right? Because then that justifies a draft after WrestleMania to lock everyone down for that May, June, July, August, September, October, November, for those 7 months. And then, again, you release it again once we're on the road to WrestleMania, and then again, you go from there. But now we're introducing this transfer portal, and the reason they're doing that is because of Netflix. They are wanting to make Raw the A show again, and it should be. It has been pretty much SmackDown's yard for the most part, ever since SmackDown got moved to Fox. And yeah, most of the bigger stars were on there, even though Raw was the 3-hour show. And I will also say Raw has been better than SmackDown lately. And now we're going to beef it up a little bit. I'm sure we're going to switch the world champions. There is a reason why they show Gunther. Maybe Dominic gets moved over to SmackDown, which I do think will benefit him quite a bit. I really hope they do. Well, now I kind of hope they keep Chad Gable on Raw because I really want that program between him and Cody Rhodes. What they did here with them, I liked every single thing that they were doing. I just wish it was for the title, and that main event was absolutely spectacular. Love the storyline of it, and again, a progression of the leg that is going to be a factor when we get to Saturday night's main event with Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It's just fun. It is just fun, even though I really do wish we took the brand split more seriously. I really do feel like it was only around for maybe 5 months. And then after that, it was just done. And now we're introducing a transfer portal. I'm just like, we kind of already had it, and then we're going to be locked in again in January. Just leave it open at that point, because again, we should have these Raw versus SmackDown matches. Will Kevin Owens be transferred over to Raw? I could see that after, because I assume Cody Rhodes is going to win. And then they're like, okay, we'll move Kevin over to Raw. But again, I do think they're going to switch Cody and Gunther over as well, so maybe they keep that storyline going. Maybe Kevin does stay. They're like, okay, you get Cody for Raw, I'll keep Kevin, so they stay separate, and we transfer Sami Zayn over, and then we get that Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens feud because of that amazing promo that Kevin Owens did in the car with Michael Cole, which was both very, very real and also very, very funny. I mean, I'm telling you, I tweeted this too, that afterwards, Kevin Owens saying, Michael, come here. Come back. He goes, are you going to He rolls up the window. Sent me. I was legit busting out laughing. He had all these random funny ass lines when he was talking about, his stupid logo. What? You want me to look in the mirror? All I see is a handsome man. I'm telling you, Kevin Owens is probably Probably promo worker of the year. Like we've been talking about, maybe pure wrestling ability. It's maybe Sheamus, right? I think promo wise, you've got to give the nod to Kevin Owens, most improved, Damian Priest. And as for all around, it might be Kevin Owens as well. He has just been having an absolutely wonderful 2024 that I do wish would cap off with him winning the WWE title. But I don't think they're going to do that. And that's fine. It is what it is. Maybe he can win the World Heavyweight title. Now that will kind of changing Gunther face as well. Looks like Penta may be debuting on SmackDown next week as well with Carmelo Hayes saying, hey, what about me? Because Monday Night Mellow sounds pretty good, which does. That does sound pretty good. But now you're going to introduce to a new SmackDown star. I would assume, I'm hoping for it to be Penta. I think we might say Penta for the Rumble. But I think it's just going to be the first actual transfer. Maybe we get the first actual transfer on Raw. If we get the first actual transfer on Raw, then maybe Penta debuts on SmackDown, and Carmelo could be a good first opponent for Penta. But I don't really want Carmelo losing right now. But hey, it is what it is. But I would assume we announce the transfer portal again, and then Friday we start the actual transfers, and then of course Raw will be beefed up once we hit the Netflix on January 6th. Got our semifinals automatically set for the Women's United States Tournament. It is going to be Michin versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany getting the win in her hometown. Really cool to see the reaction that she got. I mean, she is a superstar. A lot of people are like, well, she was in her hometown. Of course, she's going to get a big pop. That's not always the case. If you're not fully over, yeah, you're going to get a pop for being in your hometown. But you're not going to get as big as a pop that Tiffany Stratton did if you're not a star. I mean, there is a difference between, CM Punk before he won Money in the Bank and did this whole heel turn, and before he was about to leave in his home state of Chicago. There's a difference between that Money in the Bank entrance that CM Punk did and when they were in Chicago before that, right? So this just proves that Tiffany Stratton is really over. As for was she the right winner, because I did see a lot of discourse online about that Naomi should have won. I agree. Overall, I do think Naomi should have been gotten it. But I think it's the overall bigger picture, right? I think Tiffany is about to turn face because she is going to cash in on Nia Jax. And that might be our women's championship match at WrestleMania. And if that's the case, I think they invest enough story in it that they deserve it. They do deserve to tell that story at Mania. But I do think it's going to be revealed that Naomi is no longer feeling the glow. She's the one who attacked Jade. What's that reason? I don't know. They didn't give any indication or hints as to why it would be. But the writing team has been pretty good, so I think they're going to have a good explanation for it. And then, she'll be feuding with Jade and Bianca. Maybe we'll do a triple threat match at Mania. And I think Naomi racking up these losses like this, I think it's just adding to the fuel to turn heel. And we could probably do like a little bit of a double turn in that shape or form. But as for who should be the finals at Saturday Night's main event, I do have it being Chelsea Green versus Michin. That was been my guess ever since the tournament got announced, and I'm going to ride with it. I think it is the best way to go. Chelsea Green getting a win over Bayley. If she can do it clean, that would be much more preferred. It doesn't even have to be, she hits the unprettier. Or, not the unprettier. What is her finisher called? It's a version of the kill switch. Maybe she does call it the unprettier, but I think Christian called it before he turned into the kill switch. Anyway, besides the point, I'm going off tracks. It could be a surprise roll-up, and she gets the 1, 2, 3, and that's fine. As long as she gets a visual pinfall over Bayley, that's all good. And I think without the help of Piper Niven would be more beneficial to her, because I do have her winning the whole thing. And Michin can just win. We can also add the Constant Divine with Candice LeRae. She does help Tiffany win in this triple threat match. But I think they do it again, but this time it doesn't work out, and Candice LeRae is the reason why Tiffany fails. And again, continuing her to turn face and go after Candice and then going after Nia. DIY, I said it last week, and I'm not saying I'm a guru or anything like that, but I was like, I think it's more beneficial if Johnny Gargano just joins Ciampa. I did not expect him to do it in this way. And they did have me for a little bit, especially within the match itself. Street Profits get attacked. Johnny Gargano comes up. No, look, we can do the title match. Don't worry about Tommaso. He's going to be good. Get in the ring. And when, there was this one thing where there's a miscommunication and Johnny Gargano got hit and Tommaso Ciampa hit him. And I was like, whoa, wow, they might actually break up. And then when they were arguing, goes, you know what, we're done. I was like, oh my God, they are doing the breakup, which I really wasn't about because I really wasn't into another Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa feud yet. I think I need another 5 years, even though it's been like 5 years since their last feud. I think I still need another because they faced each other just so much. He gets the chair, Johnny turns heel, boots him. They have this dastardly look on their face, and we change the tag team titles again. Was it too soon to take the belts off of them? No. I've been saying it for, since SummerSlam, that, look, I think we need variety when it comes to these reigns. We need to do some flip-flopping. We need to have some short reigns, and we need to have some long reigns. If every time you win a title and you know they're going to hold it for a while, until it gets to 100 days, there's no jeopardy in those title matches whatsoever. And they've done so good with this men's tag division, where on SmackDown anyway, Raw still needs a lot of work, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit, is that they did so good with the storylines, because now that the Motor City Machine Guns have done it, they caused this chip on the shoulder of all the other tag teams. DIY has turned heel. They've been building that tension between the Street Profits and DIY. I'm sure it's going to be revealed that it was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa that took him out. There you go. You got your story. Street Profits versus DIY. You took our opportunity. Well, we took advantage of what we only took your opportunity because we weren't given any opportunities. All right, let's fight for these belts. And now we got to clear good guys and clear bad guys. And I think the audience can get some real reactions out of that. But where does that leave the Motor City Machine Guns? I think this transfer portal, I think they're going to do it again on Raw. Because they brought up the War Raiders on Monday. And maybe Finn Balor does WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. I think they're going to do it again where the Motor City Machine Guns are going to get transferred over to Raw. They're going to beat the Judgment Day. And they'll do what they did. They'll rank up some title defenses. And I think the big feud will be the Motor City Machine Guns versus the New Day at Mania. I really do think that's where we're heading, and I think that's probably a good indication. Look, you got Street Profits versus DIY. Maybe they'll blow that at the Rumble. I just hope these storylines that they're building up, they get to the PLE. Because, again, the tag division has not been good, on the men's side anyway, for 2024. And I think that is a course correction that WWE needs to make moving forward, especially with, it looks like Saturday Night's Main Event is going to be a monthly thing. I think we can do this where, it's kind of like Battle of the Belts, right, for AEW, where, it's like you have these little small feuds that can get a little PLE thing. And if there's going to be 2 PLEs a month, you can make Saturday Night's Main Event, you can kind of intertwine them, whereas more Raw heavy versus more SmackDown heavy, and you can have more of these title matches, and you can showcase all these belts, because we're about to have a lot of them. We have the Women's Intercontinental Championship going on that's going to cap off on the first Raw on Netflix. We're about to crown the very first United States Women's Champion next week. Shinsuke Nakamura, that U.S. title scene, had a brief appearance on this week's episode of SmackDown, because, again, we have so many belts that we have to squaddle through that you got to really pick and choose which storylines are you going to focus on, especially with them being 2 hours. Once we get to 3, maybe there'll be more of a showcase. The women's tag team titles, non-existent right now. That's, again, because Jade Cargill is injured, storyline-wise anyway, or maybe for real, I don't know. At this point, it depends on the reports that you read. It is just, once we do have all these belts, it does seem like one seems to slack a little bit, and it does seem like the men's US title is one that's taking the biggest back seat. Shinsuke had a great presentation. I love everything that we're doing with this new character, and we did do some work within it. But compared to what we're doing with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, which absolutely should be like maybe number 1 priority, yeah, it's hurting a little bit. Hell, Nia Jax wasn't even on this show at all. The women's champion wasn't brought up at all either. So you can even say last week that the women's championship means less than the men's United States champion. Although there is an actual story being built there too. And again, I think the women's title on SmackDown is more important than the women's title on Raw, because the Raw women's title is just, it has a story that's been too dragged out. But anyway, again, off course again. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships are much more significantly preacher. And again, we did have something with the U.S. title, but again, it was very brief. So yeah, it's just those things that are kind of really bugging me within it. But overall, I think this episode of SmackDown was absolutely great. I think everyone's starting to get showcased a lot more. I think we really figured out this 2-hour format, and it does seem like we do have a full plan now that we are starting to the road to WrestleMania, and we are about to get into this Netflix era on Raw where we can really lock everything down. It's been a weird transitional period, ever since the Fox relationship stopped. I think we can pinpoint it there when everything was on USA for those couple of weeks. NXT's doing fine now that they're on the CW and they really are doing their own thing. But yeah, with both of them being on USA, it just feels like a weird transitional period in a sense. And now that we are about to head over to Netflix, it is starting to pick up a lot more. And I mean, the show has shown just how much better it has been lately. But what did you think of SmackDown? Comment below, let me know. Leave a like if you made it this far. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button as we have a ton of content heading your way very soon. Saturday night's main event is next week, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.